But one thing that we've really strived to do in second grade is tier a lot of our writing instruction. So what that means is that prior to a unit, we look at the baseline goals that most students will meet, and from there we think, how can we extend those goals for the students who need an extension, and then how can we modify those goals to meet the needs of all of our learners.
And I think what's great is that during our meetings, we spend a lot of time looking at the kids, and if there are certain kids who might not fit into one of the modified groups in the classroom, because of the flexibility in my schedule, I'm able to pull a smaller group into my room, the learning specialist room, and there have also been units where it makes more sense to do push-in work. So we really have, the availability and the collaboration by just looking at pre-assessments and talking about the kids' needs and thinking about what the goals are. We're really able to make sure that the groups make sense and that kids get what they need.
Those groupings have looked different from year to year. It's never really a consistent plan. So some years what we've done is we've actually collaborated between the 4 teachers on our grade with Rachel, and we've created a group of about 25 to 30 students who work with 2 teachers with that baseline set of goals. And then we pull the entire rest of the grade, so about 20 students with those modified goals, and they get 2 classroom teachers plus Rachel. So for several units, we've had 3 teachers in one room working with those modified goals and all the modifications that we've made with those 20 students. And like Rachel said, other times, if some of those goals are not going to meet everyone's needs, we'll have a modified group in each classroom, a baseline kind of goal set for the rest of the kids in that classroom, and then a 5th group within the grade that goes with Rachel.
And I think because we're, constantly progress monitoring and checking in, the groups do change unit to unit. And again, just really thinking about what makes the most sense for the kids and what the goals are.
So Maya's time is scheduled at the beginning of the year as like a block of time in each kindergarten class. But then it transfers and it becomes maybe a block of time where for this 30 minutes, I'm working on phonics skills. Mm-hmm. So who in kindergarten needs that? And it doesn't matter which class they come from. If they need that, they go with Maya. Now Maya's working on idea generation. Who needs that? They go with Maya. And so it becomes more dynamic across the grade based on need and not so much based on timing or giving every class the same amount of time, but giving the kids that need that time. So there are structures in place, but something I feel like has kind of happened that now that me and Maya have worked together for a really long time, where I think that it's something that can't really transfer is, to other teachers as an idea. It's just that over time, we've come to understand what each other's strengths are, and now we can build off that. And things can be more dynamic, and we have our meeting times, and those are valuable and those are needed. Mm-hmm. But so much happens in quick interactions, and, the way that we've changed how we've done reading intervention together. So this year we were able to stack it by looking at it differently, and based on the needs of the kids. So the kids who were having the most struggles in reading would go with Maya for 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then with the help of my co-teacher, Lori Bolton, taking on a lot of the work of the friends that were reading in the middle levels, they were able to then have 30 minutes again with me.
So a double dose.
So they were getting an hour of reading intervention in a small group with 6 kids throughout the second half of kindergarten. And I was able to see through what they could do when they could come back with Maya, and knowing the way that Maya teaches, I could pick up right where she left off and be like, okay, you did your sight words with Maya. I know you did a picture walk and a walkthrough of this book, So now I'm going to work on comprehension, and I'm going to read you a story and ask you questions about it, Or when we would talk and we'd be like, they're not getting this, and I'd be like, okay, so you're going to do it, one way, you're going to have them write them, and then I'm going to have them do it in sand. You're going to do one strategy, and then I'm going to try another, and we're going to go, at every learning style we can, kinesthetic, auditory, let's figure out, how to get to these kids and get them the skills that they need, and just be really putting it together.
What prompted the reworking of the reading schedule?
It kind of just seemed more like we could do it.
Yeah.
like, we can make this work, so why not make it work? Like, let's not reuse all the models that have been done just because that's what we did last year, but let's look at grouping based on the needs of these students. And what do these students need, and let's give them that.
And you felt as though you had the flexibility from your administration to make those changes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I feel like the administration
I think it's the
completely
ideal
values.
model is for each kid that has an area of need to be getting a double dose.
Yeah.
Not just instruction from me, not just instruction from Rose, but instruction from both teachers that are able to meet their needs.
Yeah, and I feel absolutely supported by our administration as a professional to just say, like, I know these kids, and Maya knows these kids, and this is what they need, so we're going to do this.
And here at Community Roots, we have a very well-stocked music room. My student is very musically inclined. Music class is one of the places where he most successfully maintains focus and participates. So he also has a deep interest in listening to music. At the beginning of the year, as an inducement, my student would often be offered the opportunity to play on an iPad for several minutes after completing tasks. It seems that wasn't ideal. So in the beginning of the year, I decided that instead of using an iPad, I would have my student listen to music as a reward for completing work. As the year progressed, it became very apparent that my student was taking a genuine interest in music and was able to maintain focus while listening to music. And because I'm able to play guitar, I decided that my student and I would take between 15 and 30 minutes out of every one of our days, and we would essentially start guitar lessons. And his ability to maintain focus and his ability to work through frustration while playing guitar is incredible. When we began playing together, I wasn't sure exactly how it would go, but I was astounded by how into it he is, and he's naturally gifted in terms of finding a rhythm, understanding melody. He is able to hear notes for what they are, in the sense that he'll hear a note and he'll understand that that note is connected to a particular pitch. And he's even gifted in emulating the pitch with his voice, which is something I didn't expect. So as we continue to work together next year, I'm planning on having my student write songs, and we're going to record them, and we're going to work that into the curriculum.